Welcome to Workshop Wednesday's Thehayteamtv. And I'm going bold. Right. As you can see, this is basically, well, as I call it, like a dog bone. No, not a dog bone, it's a big link. And there's the other bit to it. See, it's 2 inches thick. And it's off Justin's absolute favourite brand of machine. I don't know if anybody can tell, but it's off a telehandler. Which number? I can't tell you. You have to figure out which ones that had. Or if anybody has seen this same problem, but that's 2 inches thick. This weighs about 60 kilos plus, probably. Very expensive to buy brand new. It's so expensive to buy brand new, and still very expensive second hand, which it would be. There's a lot of metal into this. You've got the bosses, the bushes. You know, they're best part £70 each. So you've got 4 bushes to go in as well. I made a new table as well. It's pretty cool. That's the normal table we always work from. And this one is literally made out of columns. Half-inch plate. And made out of columns. Some spares I'd laying around the workshop. Putting it all together, my table weighs 593 kilos. Brilliant. That's what you want. Big heavy bench. No one's going to be able to nick it anytime soon. That's for sure. So, we'll have a little look around and how to attack it. On the telehandler, in between this is like a kind of clevis point. So 2 bits go either side. This goes on like a centre pivot point, whilst one end goes on the tilt, basically on the headstock. So it's setting out the 3 points of geometry when you're kind of forcing things. Some rams just go like straight onto the headstock. But this is like a loading shovel. It's all in the middle, and your crowd is stronger than your lifting load. Crowd is unbelievable lifting power, what you get on a crowd. So, as you can probably tell, like, you see them on Matt Bros and everything else, actually. You probably see them a lot more. The boom's hidden inside. Sorry, yeah, the ram is hidden inside the boom. So, when he pushes that against that, he loads against this one, and that one there forces against the actual headstock. I don't know how else to explain it. I'm not very good at explaining stuff. I just know what they do. So I'm going to shine this one up, get them all clean up on that one. And I'm probably going to try and put my head and face in this very little, because you can't see shit when I put my camera on. Right, now that one's been cleaned up, you can actually see the rubbing it's been doing for ages. I've just wire brushed all this and this as well. So it's like he's had like a dynamic rub for ages, and then he's just ripped off. So it's got to be it's high grade, you know, S355 grade, probably a bit more of a harder grade because he's just torn and snapped. You know, he hasn't ripped. He's just gone there and he's just torn and snapped. There's only slight rip in it, because I can actually... There you go. See a little stress mark there, where it's actually the parent metal stretched. So that will be a bit interesting, that curl. Because obviously I've got to put some like wings either side, so the weld can go past your finishing point. That was easy because it's a straight parallel point. But when you take it right out, so I have to see if I can do it with the plasma, or if not, I have to do it with the gas. But it's just got to be as parallel square as I can get it. So there will be bits like bridges welded off each end to keep it stiff and it can't move once I've got it in the right position. But I've been doing all the markings up first, so I knew where it came off, and that point centres, and that point to that point centres as well. So if anything, like, you know, if I have to change a few things, it will be kind of back to where it should be. But you can't have any of the pins kind of sitting opposite to each other, because where he sits in is not an easy place. I have now done some little identification lines so I can know the PCD, basically the centres, and I put a solid straight edge against that so you can see, even though you see how much it's torn and how much it actually torn that as he's kind of ripped open. So he has fractured somewhere, and like I said about that dynamic kind of rub, I don't know how smooth that is, but you just don't know how long that's been doing that for. Even though it looks a bit stepped there, but it's only because I've just moved it a minute ago and I'll put it in there just for reference. But there was a straight edge going along here to make sure that was straight, and that was a little bit more open. So it just shows how much everything's pulled and just gone. So I've done the centre points and I've done a little drawing here to know where it all is. So when it comes to join it all back up, that's just do edge to edge. The black bit's a boss, that bit there. So we can so I kind of know where everything kind of is. So if shit gets real. Right, now that's been proper marked now. So I will be gouging it out. The little template here, how far I want to go. So it's not quite 45, it's like 38, something like that. So chamfer 40mm width. So basically it's gonna be a V butt. I know people probably would say, why don't you just go straight across? But it just saves this great, finish there, which I probably could go straight with just one straight line. Sometimes when you're curling it, the crack can't kind of follow too much more, if you kind of know what I mean. Straight line, it's just like, I could, in theory I could, because it's not affecting there. You're going to open that up. I'll just have to see what way I want to choose this in a sec. But yeah, we'll have a little crack at it in a minute. I'm not sure if I use a plasma, because I thought about putting this bar along it as a plasma guide, and then obviously kind of tilting the torch at the angle wherever it kind of suits, if you know what I mean. I ain't no pro, but I've got away with it quite a few times, or a lot of times in the past anyway. But unless I just use the cutting torch and then see how that goes. I'm going to use the Old Faithful, the gas. I was thinking about the plasma. I just took the torch off the table over there just so I can gauge it. But you can't be gas, that will eat through, I say 2 inches, but we only want to take about 1.25 inches. So like 28mm off, something like that, a bit more, well, not 28mm, but 30, nearly 30mm. Kind of on the axes here. So take that to the centre. So we're doing this piece here, do a bit of dotted line, a bit of old school. Oh, the old school boys do it. Can't say it's old school, people probably still do it. I always do it. We'll do it on this one as well. And hopefully, I'm just going to try and run it with my arm, basically holding the neck and getting the angle. I'm trying to do it by eye. There's probably better ways of doing it, but if I went from straight across to that way there, the opposite side here, there's going to be a hell of a, if I just obviously went straight across here and went there, there's going to be a big area here which you're going to have to fill up, which don't really want to, so it's just better off following the contour but neatening off the contour of the actual profile itself, and away you go from there. So I will hitch up my mat. That actually came out a lot better than I thought. Not bad for freehand. I won't be picking that up anytime. I'll just drop my also just drop my torch and the main settling line on that hot bit. That's a bloody good idea, isn't it? So that's not bad, there's me marks. That's not bad, Of course I was going to do that. But yeah, not a bad line there. So I just got to make sure all the others now come out as good as that. Right, that is the underside done. It's all right. It's not perfect, but I've gone a little bit deeper in areas there when I went the second try over, because I think I literally just lost my balance, and I thought I'll keep going. I might get away with it, but it's okay. But that will soon look a lot neater when you run the grinder over that. So I'll get to do that bit in a second. You know, kind of start getting anywhere, and then we're going to have to weld all sorts of pieces over it. Okay, so everything's prepped out now properly, which is ideal. So technically that gap in there then, it's not the purpose gap, but I'm trying to keep the same, it's just taken away a little bit really, a bit rough grooved inside, but that's perfect to get a route through. You know, it's 2-inch plate, you can bang that through like 280 amps, 250, and wash that in, that'll blend right in the other side. And then you grind that other side back, the under, well, where grind the penetration back, and then basically blow another couple hundred amps behind through, and then keep before back and forth, and we'll get heat over it as well. If I could get heating it to about 200-300 degrees to get going, and then shouldn't have to touch it again. There is probably a professional procedure way of doing this, but you know, it ain't no Rolls Royce, you know, so we'll get that done. I'm not going to do any more welding now tonight, because I've been on site as well today, so this was due to be done today, but there we go. And I can't do it tomorrow because I'm cleaning sheds out. So, read out the lead bar and actually Justin's telehandler, actually. And I'm not going to give it back. No. So, it's actually looking pretty good. But I am done for the day. And I'm going to shoot off.